Welcome back to the bench. This is Bench Points. Gosh, another awesome Saturday. Best Saturday so far? Yes, no, probably.
Good Saturday.
Really, really solid. Really good Saturday. And just some incredible games, heart pounding, heart wrenching for some teams. And then maybe those that their hearts grew 3 sizes, like the Kentucky Wildcats. That is, there's plenty to talk about here. So let's go ahead and get started. Arkansas versus Texas Tech. This is a rematch of the Sweet 16 matchup. Back and forth battle. Arkansas pulled away in the second half. What do we think of that game? I thought it was pretty fun to watch. It was a fun game to watch.
I come away with more questions on Texas Tech. I know they're beat up a little bit at the moment, but you play 6 guys and only 2 got into double digits.
It was your
There's
two
no way you're
All-American.
making it through a season, Big 12 season that way. Anything except a below 500 record. Like, you've got to find some more. Like, I know they got to get healthy. Like, Atwell was supposed to be a big grab, not there. John Watts did not play well. I mean, Toppin and Anderson did what they were supposed to do. It's just they had nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't like Arkansas. I feel like they're a little bit better than I thought coming into the year, but it's still I'm not impressed with them. I think this said more about Texas Tech and the lack of talent and ability they had than it does anything about Arkansas.
I will say I liked watching Brazil play. I thought he had an absolutely fantastic game. But I came away with this from this game thinking, one, Texas Tech lost this game. Not 100% sure if Arkansas won it.
That's fair.
Obviously, Arkansas won the game, but Texas Tech led that entire game. And the game plan for the blueprint for beating Texas Tech is very, very simple. Shut down Toppin, close out on Anderson, and let the other 3 players on the court beat you, and they will not. They will not. You guys, I think we all saw it when Purdue played Texas Tech. It was an absolute, open wound exposure on what you need to do to that team from a Purdue team that's not excellent defensively. So just watching this game, Texas Tech was relatively in control. They got the stops when they needed stops. They got the buckets when they needed buckets. But then at the end of the game, they just turned the ball over, committed stupid fouls, took ill-advised shots, couldn't make a free throw, couldn't rebound. So it was very symptomatic in the last 5 minutes of the game where you just knew I was going to take this one away.
Yeah, they ran out of gas. I mean, Toppin and Anderson played 40 minutes. Others Watts and Bryan played 30 plus minutes, and then they just ran out of gas, and that was plain. That's easy to see at free throws, the way they're missing, the lack of effort on rebounds, chasing those down, a little bit sloppier play. It just out of gas, and until you cannot run 6 guys at Division I basketball. You can get away with that in high school and some lower level stuff. But not in this level of D1 basketball, and you got to have at least 8. So they got to find 2 guys. There had to be 2 guys on that bench worthy of some minutes to just give Toppin and Anderson a breath. That's just, I don't know. And then, I mean, I don't think we're going to see a 50% 3-point shot for Arkansas too often. So there was a lot of things that went their way. They did okay on free throws. They made almost over half their threes, and Brazil was on fire. I'm still not impressed. I'm just more shocked at Texas Tech being where they're at. I mean, part of it's injury, part of it's just guys aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing.
And JT Toppin, I don't think there's anybody that can truly stop him in a one-on-one or when he's got a matchup there. He's a nightmare for almost everybody. But he, again, just like we've said, just ran out of gas. He can't do everything.
Yeah. What advice does 3 people from the bench have to give to JT Toppin other than keep the ball up, dude? Keep the ball up. You are a big, giant, strong human being. Keep the ball up. Every time he puts that ball below his waist, that thing is gone.
I was actually pointing that out to my son in a previous game as a teaching point.
Yeah.
It plays out exactly like you just said. Absolutely. Also, I don't think Christian Anderson, I mean, he doesn't get a ton of credit. I mean, that is 11 assists. I mean, that's a pretty monstrous game.
He's an All-American candidate. I mean,
yeah.
They got 2 All-Americans that go out there and perform every night in and night out, and then the rest of the team shows up and they win, or they don't show up and they lose. I mean, that is the tale of Texas Tech right now.
Starting to worry that they're a paper tiger. Everything sounded good on paper, but not played out that way.
Well, they look the part. I think I feel like they do. They look like the Goon Squad. I mean, they're out there. They're big. They're big bodied guys. They just, I mean, I don't know, but they just got to get more bench play for sure, which we're obviously a big fan of here on this podcast for obvious reasons. But what about number 23 Nebraska pulling off a thriller against Illinois? Huge buzzer beater by Lawrence, 0.2 seconds left, 83-80 win. I know Sam's itching to talk about Nebraska. This has been something else. What a story for this season. And kind of weird.
Yeah, so Nebraska is like the Big Ten's pain in the ass for the last several years. I mean, there was a time where they were an exceptionally good basketball team, and then it kind of fell off. Almost the same exact story for their football team. It was like an incredible football program, and it's kind of fallen off too. But this year's basketball team has been an absolute treat to watch. First real test here against a very, very good Illinois team in Champaign, mind you. And not only they rise to it, but I mean they walk out of there with a dub. They're 11-0. They've got 2 Big Ten wins. This Nebraska team is not going anywhere. I don't think anybody's talking about them enough. Drop down the 7 undefeated teams left in college basketball, and Nebraska and Vandy are at the back of everybody's mind right now. And they should be at the forefront. And then maybe not so much Vandy, but this Nebraska team in a very, very tough Big Ten could cause a lot of problems. I know Purdue goes there. That's not going to be an easy game for Purdue by any stretch. In fact, I think this Nebraska team does exactly what is the kryptonite against Purdue. And then, I mean, I think they're going to give Michigan fits. I think we're coming down to close to the end of the year, getting into the first 13, 14 games for these teams, and some teams are starting to separate themselves. But this Nebraska team is just like alligator blood. They're not going anywhere.
No, not when you have a guy like Sandiford that can just absolutely go on a tear like he did. He was 6-11 with 3 and probably could have shot 3 or 4 more that probably would have went in the way he was shooting. I mean, this is kind of eye-opening with Illinois, though. Like, when their big guys aren't going good and aren't playing solid, that team becomes very vulnerable. Not a lot of going to the bucket kind of stuff, a lot of wanting to settle for threes. I mean, that's why I saw them shoot 29 this game. And they weren't particularly great shooting that night. I mean, Rikovic and both the Ivicevic combined for a total of 14 points. There wasn't a lot going on in the big guy area, and that kind of really hurt Illinois, and I think kind of showed a very big weakness they have. I mean, this Nebraska team, they're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be somebody you don't want to see come tournament time, and you don't want to go visit. I don't know how we'll do on the road right now, but like in tournament time, like
Purdue goes to Nebraska.
Yeah,
I believe that's the only time they play.
And I mean, is there a more coach's son point guard out there than Sam Hoiberg out there with 7 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, made his only 3? Like, he seemed to be just making all the coach's kid plays. I doesn't need a lot going to him, but it was just kind of fun to see that. I don't know that Nebraska's got second weekend talent, but they've definitely got where you're sitting in like a 6 seed or 7 seed, and you see them on your schedule.
Yeah, no thanks. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, 11-0. We're talking in December. They haven't gotten to the Big Ten, and the Big Ten is just going to be an absolute meat grinder. Illinois is a big test in that Big Ten, and they passed it. So,
I mean, they handled Wisconsin too. It got them about 30.
Do we even know how we feel about Wisconsin yet?
I was down on them, and I was still really down on them, but I didn't think there was 30 points difference between them.
That could be a product of just Nebraska being that much better than most teams right now.
No, well, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, to do this in Illinois too was
yeah,
special.
That's a tough place to play.
Yeah, and then I mean they had double-digit leads in both halves.
Yeah,
at one point, so that says a lot. And then off the top, so I should have looked at this. Where was Nebraska's coach before?
So he went from Iowa State to the NBA for a minute, and then came back to Nebraska, I believe. I don't know if there was a stop in between.
Okay,
there might have been, but I'm not 100% sure. I would say coaching his son's AAU team, but
yeah,
effectively what Nebraska is now.
Let's see where was Holmberg.
It's bothering me. Because I know I could picture him. I know he would play.
Well, there was no stop in between Iowa State and Nebraska, college stop. He left Iowa State in 2015, took the Nebraska job for the 2020 year.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Wild. That's crazy.
I mean, he battled through. He won 7 games 2 years in a row, then 10, then 16, then 23, 21, and now he's won 11. So, I mean, he's been building this program for a minute.
Also, I sent you all that clip of Brad Underwood's comments, which was pretty funny about you get the Bob Knight quote.
Ask to bench to brain. Maybe try harder in practice.
Yeah,
I've heard that one a time or two.
for sure.
I mean, we got 3 people over here.
The second half of it is
right now.
Then, yeah.
That should be our tagline. But no, it really, I was looking at some of the comments that were being made about that, and there's so much like hostility towards Brad Underwood, and I don't really understand why. Everybody's talking about he's just like over promising, and you know, I think people are a little bit bitter about his tactics with bringing in these European players and things like that. But I'm like, I kind of think the guy could be brilliant for doing it. And in today's climate, in today's college basketball climate, to me, there's no reason why he should be held. It should be held against him for bringing in players like that.
It's an old school approach to coaching, but it's an effective communicator.
Well, let's get mad about 3 losses on the year. 2 of them are Alabama and UConn, which everybody thought was going to be great coming in, and both of them were under 10 points. And then he loses at the buzzer here at Nebraska. Like, let's hold our horses on getting mad about how he's coaching. Like, it's working pretty well.
I agree. I thought the same thing. I thought it was interesting to see some of those comments. I don't know if I missed something, which is possible. Now, this game I did not prepare for being even though we'd be discussing this, but the Michigan State-Penn State game, I mean, that was a huge road win, ultimately. I mean, it turned into that. It was very physical, Big Ten matchup between Michigan State and Penn State. Definitely not Michigan State's best game. That's for sure. I think they kept themselves in the game, and probably more than anything. But they pulled it out. They got the win. Did you all get a chance to watch much of that game?
Yeah, so I watched this in its entirety, and have you guys ever stumbled across something and you're watching it, but then you're like halfway, 3/4 through, you're like, why the hell am I watching this? This is
100. Great way to describe that, brother.
That's how I felt about this Michigan State Penn State game. I will say this: Michigan State is shooting a lot better than I thought they were going to shoot. I think they shot over 50% from 3-point line, and they took a lot of them. Like for Michigan State, which is I think like 18 or 20, 17 turnovers is what I remember hearing towards the end of that game. This Penn State team, I went on and I said that they are a really, really bad team, and I want to clarify that they're a really bad team. They got 40 piece by IU, who lost to Minnesota, and I'm not knocking IU any more than I need to right now. Congratulations to Mendoza for your Heisman. Rooting for you in the college football playoffs. You guys lost to Minnesota in basketball. Yeah. Putting your finger on the pulse of IU sports fanaticism right now. I'm pretty sure 99.9% of it is on your football team, because your basketball team is just on back-to-back losses, and maybe is it back-to-back losses? Minnesota, Louisville, Kentucky. Are we on a 3-game schneid?
I'm not 100% sure of that.
Anyway, no, because of Penn State. My bad. Yeah, because IU came in and beat Penn State by 40. So, this Penn State team should not be at the same gym as this Michigan State team, and how this Michigan State team's played at the start of this year. This Michigan State team that was competitive with a great Duke team, this Michigan State team that has beat every ranked opponent that they faced and weaseled their way into a top 10 spot in both KenPom and in the overall AP rankings. So a little disappointed in how this one turned out. Like I thought maybe Michigan State would win this by 20, but Penn State kept it close. And so I found myself in a rare turn of events kind of sort of rooting for Penn State. So just a weird, ugly, awful game. Good teams win those. So good on Michigan State, good on Izzo for squeaking that one out, but it kind of exposed some areas where they need to work, or maybe they just had a lackadaisical Saturday.
Yeah, this felt like they were sleepwalking. The 17 turnovers and 10 of them being steals, like that's really the difference in the game, because, I mean, Michigan State out-rebounded them, outshot them at every level. And just, I mean, Divine Okechukwu or whatever, but went 5 for 5 from deep, 8 of 10 on the floor. Like, he was having a game, but just a stab my Tennessee fans at the heart. Freddie Dion goes for 23 and leads Penn State in scoring, as Cameron Carr is also leading Baylor in scoring. It's fun to know we're struggling at wing guard talent and have both those guys somewhere else. Penn State played about as well as this Penn State team could play. something come through, and I think that's going to be the story all year. Is like this team is going to speed, and this is going to be a black mark on Michigan State's resume because everything besides the turnovers went their way. It just they were sloppy with the ball, and I mean Fears wasn't great. Cohen Carr had 3 points, and I mean Cooper and Kohler weren't great. It's just this was a bad Saturday. I don't think it says anything about the team. I think this was just coming after a couple of big games back to back, and just kind of a letdown road conference game. Hopefully, I doubt Izzo does this, but it's one of those like burn the tapes and just kind of move on. But I don't think Izzo's going to do that. I think there's going to be with the 17 turnovers.
No,
A lot of running to be done in that next practice.
Yeah, he's going to crawl into some asses and stay in there for a while.
So for our next game, we've got Kansas and NC State overtime game. I thought NC State, they fumbled this one.
They did. They lost this one.
This was a fumble at the goal line, I feel like.
This is on Will Wade to me. Make an adjustment, dude. Like, okay, I would have read the same game plan coming in. Let Mevin Council shoot, clog the lane up. But when the dude starts going nuts, get in his grill. Like, there was times that, like, after the guy had hit 6 or 7 threes, they're like, we're still not going to step out on it. Obviously, he's got it going tonight. Make an adjustment. Like, because nobody else in that, like, I mean, Peterson was playing great till he had to go out, and that's a different conversation.
It is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Budinga was useless for the most part. Tiller, Trey Watt, like the rest of it was literally Melvin Council. You couldn't find an adjustment to hedge on that screen and push him out a little deeper. I mean, I know the dude's fast as lightning. 2 is less than 3. Take the 3 away and let him have the layup. Like, I don't know. I mean, Williams was absent for majority of that game too. I mean, he carried them to overtime and in overtime, but was just really absent. I don't know. Like, I thought Arsenault, the Houston transfer, was going to be a bigger impact. Maybe there's a reason Kelvin Sampson wasn't sad he left.
I think there's something to it.
Yeah, like I thought.
I think my dumbass went on here and said that North Carolina State was going to be the second best team in North Carolina, and that's proved to be not exactly an accurate statement. I've got some other comeuppances coming later, so
yeah, I was like, just as a whole, I mean, NC State played with them. They're just as good as this Kansas team. It's just like, wait, like especially towards the end of the game, burn one of those timeouts that one of the ones you took home with, and be like, somebody just 2-hand shove the guy to the ground. Just make him think about the next 3. Like, this is, you can't let one guy go that nuts on you. I mean, they took 70 shots and he almost took half the shots with 27. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, I don't know, make a defensive adjustment and be like, hey, I'm going to put super glue on your jersey and you're just going to give Council a hug and you're going to stay with him all night. But no, we didn't do that. We just let him keep shooting and keep punishing you for every dumb, unadjusted defensive mistake that you had.
It was shocking to me that they just didn't take somebody and go, okay, wear his shorts with him. I don't know.
Yeah, get to know. By the end of this game, I want to know his blood type.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's like, and the Darren Peterson thing, man. I think he's
shut
it down, at least for a while. The guy's got too much money ahead of him to risk it, and the quotes I'm hearing after the game were like he's dealing with this every game. Props to him for pushing back to the last one and getting back earlier than I thought he would, but I don't know that we see him until February at the earliest. But I mean, I could be wrong. There's just way too much to consider for him about future stuff than this 1 year at Kansas that nobody will remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does anybody remember Embiid's Kansas year? Like, nobody ever brings that up. I mean, the dude was hurt the whole year. Like, dominant when he played out there, like Peterson has been, but nobody brings that up when they're talking about Embiid. Like, this is the same thing.
Things haven't changed.
Same thing with Kyrie at Duke. Like, just go on to your next level and play where you belong.
Yeah, I don't know. It's disappointing from how good this freshman class is this year to have somebody like that who is a top tier freshman class player and a very top tier freshman class not being able to play and showcase what he can do for a program like Kansas. I mean, I wish nothing but the worst for Kansas basketball, but like in this case, I was like, I'd like to watch Peterson play because I really do think he's special and I think he would change the landscape for Kansas basketball this year. But I think with him not playing, the ceiling gets a lot lower.
Yeah, I just hate it. The idea of shutting it down, and I understand the money. I get it. I get the future aspect of it, but
This is the whole issue with one and done, right? Like you're forcing a guy to go play at a school that he doesn't necessarily want to. Like it wasn't in his career path to have this stop. Like he very easily could have gone straight to the NBA, and probably held his own and then developed just like he would at Kansas and get to be probably superstardom. But like, so now you're forcing this guy to make a decision between try to play for Kansas or consider my future. Because I mean, a hamstring injury is hard to come back from just because it takes a while.
Mhm.
And then so like, how hard does he push it? Because he's like, I mean, talking about arguably pick of the draft. So everything he goes down is a good chunk of money loss. So I don't know. There's a lot to consider there for him personally, and not just with whatever the school's doing.
Yeah.
And now for the, I don't even know how to describe the Arizona Alabama game, other than an avalanche absolutely hit in Birmingham, Alabama, and it was delivered by Arizona there in the second half.
Yep.
Wow, I don't think I know I texted you all and said I don't think I've ever seen just a run as heavy and as dominant
Yeah.
as what I saw in that game. But I thought about it more and more. I really can't remember a time where, I mean, just a complete flip and domination. I mean, the game was even, back and forth, and then it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it came down to like rebounding. I mean, like they got 20 pieces on the rebounds as well. Like there was that kind of cheap, dumb, I hate to call the flagrant on
Yes.
Awaka. And then all of a sudden he decided nobody else rebounds this game. And he just ended up with 15 boards off the bench. Like he just dominated the boards there. I mean, Krivos had a great, and Alabama couldn't do anything about it. When we went to watch Purdue and Alabama, the issue was rebounding. Almost every one of these Alabama losses, the issue is rebounding, and they just don't have the guys. I mean, the blocks is crazy, 15-1, but it doesn't matter if you're not cleaning them up. And this was the Braden Burry's breakout game. That guy had a game. Put up 28, 5 of 10 from deep. I mean, Koa Pete and Bradley were fighting foul trouble all night and didn't really play much. I mean, Koa put up 6. I think in one 3-minute run, he scored all 6, and then the rest of the time wasn't scoring. And props on him for still going out there playing and doing stuff. I mean, this Arizona team, man, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the year. Is like I think they've got the talent to go have a super high ceiling, like Final Four, national champion. But you just didn't know if the pieces were going to come together because the floor was low. Well, each one of these games they're going through and just dominating stuff. That floor is getting higher and higher, and we're getting a much thinner look at the results of their season.
Yeah. So watching the first half of this game, I was like, if this stays close, this is Alabama's 100%. And like Alabama was playing some pretty staunch defense. Like they were getting those blocks in the first half. Rebounding was okay. They were shooting okay, but they were kind of taking some things away from Arizona. And then to your point, Jake, Awaka decided nobody else was going to rebound. Arizona, like as a whole, just decided the game was over. And it was a switch that was flipped that I can only liken to what Michigan did to Gonzaga, what Iowa State did to Purdue. Like in the second half, Arizona did that to Alabama. And I will say this, like this game was in Birmingham and it did not feel like a home game for Alabama at all. And we brought this up when we were in you guys have a great basketball team. For the love of God, just love them. Like, I'm going to love them for you because I'm starting to root for Alabama, and I'm not 100% sure why. It was like a few years ago when they got the one line with Brandon Miller. I was like, dude, y'all playing a freaking murderer. I'm like, and I was like so anti-Alabama. And I think, some of my past Arizona biases rubbed off because I hated watching Caleb Love play for so long. And here I am, like, Lord forgive me, I have sinned. I did not believe in the Church of Arizona basketball because it is holy and it is good. They went in there, they handled business between them and Michigan. I think we got a couple runaways for the best team right now. Where I put my exclamation points and my question marks is, do you want to be peaking in December or do you want to be peaking in March? Now, maybe they haven't. Maybe they're going to plateau and still be excellent and still be above the rest. But, we've still got 3 very, very long months of conference play for these teams coming up. And it's it's going to be absolute cinema because this Arizona team is the real deal. I apologize for doubting them. I'm going to find myself a cheap Arizona shirt on Amazon so I could wear it on this podcast for the 17 viewers that we get. But yeah, hang in there, Arizona fans. I was wrong.
What's wild, like the rebounds, I was looking at the box score. If you go Krivas and Owaka, they almost out-rebound Alabama to them by themselves. 29-32, just with three guys. We talk about making an adjustment. Somebody take somebody's legs out, do something like get a little physical, knock them out of the lane quick. You can't let two guys almost out-rebound you.
Nate Oates said after the Purdue game that Braden Smith out-rebounded their entire front court. Like that's Purdue, and I think this Arizona team might be bigger and more physical than Purdue is.
I don't know that there's a more physical player out there than Owaka. I don't know that anybody can move him necessarily, but like, I mean, he had 7 offensive rebounds. Like they had 22 offensive rebounds to Alabama's 3. They outshot them by almost 30. Alabama didn't do anything well this game besides block shots that Arizona didn't do better.
And Philon was the one with 10 rebounds. It wasn't even one of their bigs.
Yeah, I love Philon. I'm like,
do too.
But I mean, a little bit sloppy. I mean, 5 turnovers though to 5 assists, like, because that's the thing. Arizona turned the ball over 4 times in that game. That's outstanding, considering your point guard was in foul trouble and sat a giant chunk of the game, and like key moments of the game. And that's why I think this Arizona team is absolutely terrifying and may be like, I don't want to be on the same side of the bracket as them when it comes to March. Like,
No.
I don't want to be near them until I have to.
And one thing I have to point out is Sherelle had how many free throws? 0.
That's shocking.
0. That kills me. That dude is such a waste.
Yeah.
He's a goon. He's just a big old fella, and he does like to get in there and bang around.
He's playing on the wrong team. He needs a slower team.
Yep.
Not advocating for transfers, but typically, this guy feels like he needs to play in a slower pace team so he can use his body, because the pace on this, he's running so fast, he's not getting a chance to use his height and stuff. And then when he is, he's out of gas.
Like he's running himself out of contention.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic player and will be. It's just not getting to showcase what he does well here in Alabama.
No.
Yeah.
I agree. Any other anything that we missed, or any other key games that we missed to recap?
I thought UCLA did put out a good showing.
Yes.
Gonzaga,
yes,
that was one of the better ones I've seen, and part of what I've been saying with Gonzaga, the guards weren't that great this time around, but they still, I mean, EK and Huff are enough to carry you through a lot of really bad scenarios. But this is one of Donovan Dent's, I thought, worst games. He only had 12 points, and I mean, he did have 10 assists, but the 4 rebounds. He played better on defense than I ever thought he would, because I stayed up and watched this whole game because I don't know, I got a death wish. But I mean, there's not enough talent on this UCLA team. They've got to, especially when they let that pace get driven by Gonzaga. That was the bullet that killed him. But I don't know. I think Gonzaga's mortal, very, very mortal. You just got to have some height to get in the way of EK and Huff.
Yeah. I watched the 30-minute highlight video of that game, and I will say this about UCLA: they keep like sneaking back into the rankings, and this is a team this is one of Arizona's wins that I was just like, I don't think this one's that impressive. Kind of the same thing with Florida. I think this Alabama win's very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But UCLA, I just don't like. They lost to Cal. They squeaked one out to Washington. Every test that they've really had, they failed. So I don't know how I feel about this UCLA team. And the feelings I do know and recognize are not positive. Every time I watch Mick Cronin on the sidelines of that game, and I sound like a broken record, he does not seem like he wants to be there. He does not want to be coaching UCLA. He does not want to be coaching in California. He does not want to be coaching a California team. Like, get that guy back to the Midwest where he can thrive. Like, he's not cut out for West Coast. He's just not. And UCLA is a storied program, and I don't know how much longer they're going to tolerate it. I don't know how much longer he's going to tolerate it, but he's not passing any tests right now.
And, I mean, shout out to Xavier Lee. He's back-to-back games showing up, so maybe Florida's not dead in the water. And they've got to find something besides the 3 ball, because Tucker was off, and that hurt. especially when he's going to shoot 9 threes. Wilkerson
Lamar
wasn't.
was off.
Yeah, like they shot 17% from deep, and you lose a game that you had a lead in for majority of it, and end up losing by 12. I'm still not that impressed with nothing on Kentucky. Shocked me. Like I mean,
Somebody
Kentucky
had to win that game.
they shot terribly again, like 3 of 15 from deep. Like
Right. Somebody had to win that game, regardless of the reluctance on both sides. Like it was like,
I don't know if it's the wine or what, but that's hilarious. Somebody had to win this one.
yeah, it's like I was texting my IU buddies during that game, and I'm like, God, I want to root for IU basketball because it's against Kentucky, but I was like, I just don't like your product. And they're like, oh, you a Kentucky fan now? I was like, no, I hate their product. Like,
I mean,
I wish the referees would just call this one. Like, I just don't like this basketball.
the 18 turnovers is dead.
Yeah.
I like a little positive in this. I thought Kentucky actually played relatively hard and gritty. That's it. I'm not sure if that's a compliment. You played gritty and you squeaked out a win against an Indiana team that got beat by Minnesota. I'm just gonna that's gonna be the banner I put on IU's year this year. Like you lost to Minnesota. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like, and to Brad's point, he texted us in the group chat. Like, why are we acting? Oh, is Kentucky acting like this is a big win? Because like in this season, it is because they've been on the struggle bus so hard. This is the first like legitimate Power 5 team that they've beaten. And I'm not even sure how legitimate it is. Like we said at the beginning of the year, this is a mid-major All-Star team. Like it's like they beat an all-conference team from the A10 or something. It's not that.
Yeah,
Indiana's that good.
I think this is going to go down as a quad 1.
Yeah, on the road to
this will probably go.
It might be quad 2, depending on what IU does the rest of the year. Because
right,
if it was on the road, gives it a better chance. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of fantastic games Saturday. Like if you caught any of the Butler Providence game, a double overtime game, that was a ton of fun to watch. Georgia handling Cincinnati.
I did confirm we still have access to tickets for Butler UConn if we so choose to go, because I do want to see Braylon Mullins play live. So I would like to see Butler and Hinkle Fieldhouse try to knock off that juggernaut.
They're a fun team to watch. That wow, this is Jack guy, man. He's worth it. He's worth turning on the TV for. It's fun.
I will say this. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I will give credit to the fans, to Kentucky fans. They were cheering and they were acting like they were playing the number 1 team in the country. It got loud. But they got so excited, and it was it was almost a little bit sad, I guess, that they were getting that excited. On the field of 68, the After Dark episode, they're like, Kentucky's back. And I'm like, they literally said that. And I'm like, these guys know better than this.
Like,
this is
want Kentucky to be back.
It's just like Texas. Everybody in college football wants to be the first one to say Texas is back. Like, so it says it after every win that they have that came after a loss. Like, I don't think Kentucky's back by any stretch.
No. I just want us to pump the brakes a little bit and let's see what they're going to do. But I have very, very little hope. And I still like Mark Pope. I do. But I don't think they want to play. I don't think he likes his team. I don't think that this team doesn't seem to like each other.
No.
There's just not a lot of chemistry. Like you can just kind of tell. Like there's not like dabbing them up. There's not a lot of excitement. It's just very flat.
It's disjointed.
Yeah, disjointed is a great way to say it. Yeah. I think that's fair.
Well, I mean, that's been the story from like week 1, like right before the Louisville game. Supposedly there's a locker room incident that rumor is was a fist fight. Like you can't have that happening and then go knock. That's why you got waxed by Louisville. Like, so it's, I don't know. But I mean, it's interesting to see that St. Mary's lost tonight on the Sunday night game to Boise State. That's interesting to me because people are starting to push that St. Mary's team. And
that Boise State team has had a disappointing start to the year.
I mean, in Kansas State won. Who'd they beat? Who beat somebody decent? I think that was on Saturday. I can't remember. But like, maybe we need to start giving Kansas State a little more love here. They've been playing well.
Yeah, they beat Creighton.
Which, I mean, that's not great, but it's also, I don't know. This is more than I expected out of Kansas State this year.
Yeah, and they lost to Bowling Green.
Yeah, and then
bad.
Yeah, that's real bad. Yeah, real.
82-66. Did we talk about that? I know that was December 1st, but that is, wow, that's a number for Kansas State. But yeah, maybe also Creighton may just not be They are not the same Creighton team. This is a struggle.
Yeah. And are we willing to put Shaka on the hot seat now?
I think so. I think there's got to be something. There's got to be some sort of change, or he's got to put more money into his roster.
He's had a pretty good program for. They actually talked about this pregame and postgame about the series that Purdue has had with Marquette over the course of the last 4 years through the Braden Smith, Fletcher Loyer, TKR era. And Marquette's been competitive in every one of those years. He's just having an off year this year because of his absolute refusal to go to the portal. And I think Painter went through that a little bit last year where a lot of people were scratching their heads because he didn't use the transfer portal like everybody thought he should have, given the roster deficiency you have when you lose Mason Gillis, who's your glue guy, and Zach Edey, who's a 2-time National Player of the Year. You had a big, giant, gaping hole that an injured DJ and a not good at all at basketball Will Berg could not fill. I think Shaka Smart's going through that this year, and I think Shaka's going to learn that, I'm going to have to hit the portal if I'm going to compete, because he just went into Mackey Arena to play a Purdue team that he's competed well against for the last 3 years, and it was a 20-point win that could have been 50. I think Purdue handled business. I thought Oscar Clough was an absolute beast. I mentioned earlier, what my dream matchup right now would be Oscar Clough versus Toby Awaka. I think it's like a moose versus a brick wall. That would be kind of fun to watch. But yeah, I thought Purdue went in there and handled business. It was a good, healthy win. Ugly at times. My biggest takeaway from this game is I'm starting to feel like Omer Meyer is a bit of a bust. I want him to be better. I want him to shoot the ball better. I think he can take the ball at the court. I think he can handle the offense, but the shots aren't dropping. And at some point, it's not bad luck, it's who you are.
Yeah, well, I mean, the same thing can be said about Ethan Berg at Tennessee. Both those guys played very well in that Israeli national team, and then both have been since they got into D1 ball. But like with Marquette, here they've got 5 wins on the year: Albany, Southern, Central Michigan, and Valpo, and Little Rock. Every other thing, like any team of value, has been a loss, right? You got
0-6, quad 1 and 2.
Yeah, 23-point loss to Indiana, 7, like a couple single-digit losses with Maryland, Dayton, and Oklahoma. Back-to-back 20-point losses on the road to Wisconsin and Purdue. That seat might not be hot, but it's warming up, and I think people are starting to look at Shaka. Like, for a while, they're like, you can have an off year and kind of go like Painter did. Like, it was an off year, but they were competitive last year, and they weren't getting just waxed anytime a power like quad 1 or quad 2 team came in. And Shaka's not doing that, so it's drawing eyes, and I think it's warming up, and the pressure's going to be tight because if he goes, and I've not seen anything to counteract this, there's a chance that he might go over in the Big East this year. Like, there's nothing on this Marquette team that has said, give me any hope for promise.
In a weak Big East.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they are a weak part of that weak Big East.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier's improving, Villanova's improving, Providence and Butler are decent. Seton Hall is moving up too. And I mean, they've got a fantastic coach. So I don't know, an over year in the Big East might be enough to pull that plug.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, give him a year to learn, because obviously I don't think this Marquette's sniffing the tournament this year. I would say, like, hey, you're going to have this amount of money to build a roster next year, do something with it. And if he does the same thing and like refuses to go to the portal and refuses to get creative with his recruiting, I think it's the end of the road. We'll see. I think let him get through this bad year, rebuild a little bit, and see if he can put something together next year. Because Shaka is a good coach. I mean, he's been successful,
but I think he might have worn out his welcome.
Yeah,
it's about time for him to move on a little bit, but we'll see.
Do you ever feel like with Marquette and schools like that are just basketball schools that they should? It's kind of astonishing that they're not better.
Yeah.
Weird.
Like,
I know the revenue is hard. Like, they don't get as much money.
It's because like you've got at this level, you've got to have either, and I don't know what Marquette's like school is famous for, so I don't know if there's tons of money in Marquette or not, but like the football drives in money because those boosters that supply the football team, also that money gets spread around, and so then it, like, rising tide lifts all boats, right? That's why you see the schools that have a really good football program with a lot of money infused also have really good like baseball and women's basketball and all that, because there's money to go around. And when you don't have that big draw of football, it's hard. But Gonzaga is the case for no football team and all basketball and being very good.
True.
So like it can be done. It's just you've got to be. I don't know what their school's famous for and what kind of money they've got flowing through. So maybe they've got some money that Marquette doesn't, that keeps their players in.
I asked ChatGPT and it said men's basketball.
I mean, Dwayne Wade is your biggest booster then, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, I found that interesting. And what is interesting is the Tuesday matchup. That is really the biggest next game that's coming up here for us, which is Louisville is going to be making their way over here to my neck of the woods in Knoxville, Tennessee, to take on the Tennessee Volunteers. I have thought a lot about this game, and I find myself getting excited about the opportunity and the idea and being optimistic. But then I realize I have nothing to base that on.
Yeah, it's
I don't have anything. I want something. Give me something.
yeah, and this might be just me, like the sports gambling wise, laying a point with Louisville right now is about the easiest thing to do. So 1.5 is what I'm seeing. That feels very easy because there's nothing offensively Tennessee has done that excites me. And Louisville's got Cronwell, who's a stud, and he's a bad matchup for us, especially with Phillips going out for the year with his shoulder surgery. But like, so that thins our front line. They've got big guys that do things multiple different ways, and they've got a very, very good, very top tier guard in Cronwell, and then a top tier freshman in Brown. Like, I don't know that we've got enough offensive power to stay in this game. I think our defense will hold it close, but there's gonna be a point where we go 4 minutes without scoring and Louisville doesn't match it, and we go down 10 to 12 points and can't figure out how to make it all the way back.
Yeah. When's the last time Tennessee has lost 4 games in a row?
I don't know that Barnes has done it at Tennessee. Lost 4 in a row.
So Syracuse, I think we talked about as a disruptor team, but they also just lost to Hofstra. Illinois is a juggernaut at times, but, they just lost to Nebraska. Louisville is coming off of, I think, when was their last game? Was it Indiana?
Yeah. They handled that one.
Nope, they beat Memphis. They just beat Memphis.
Yeah, they beat Memphis
by 26. A very physical Memphis team, by the way. I got a pleasure of watching that game a few weeks ago. But this Louisville team, I think, is going to start off extremely hot against this Tennessee team, and then they're going to level out because that's kind of been their MO here lately. I think Tennessee needs to weather this storm. I think Tennessee needs this game more, and I think you're going to see that on the floor and in the locker room a little bit, and like what you see coming out of timeouts and halftimes and things like that. Tennessee really needs this one. I made a very public declaration that Tennessee was going to beat Houston. I cannot make that declaration about this Tennessee team beating Louisville, but I want this Tennessee team to beat Louisville. I think they can. I think they should, and I think they need it. I don't think Louisville needs this one nearly as much as Tennessee.
It looks like 1954 is the unofficial time, the last time that Tennessee basketball has lost 4 in a row. And
when was it?
1954.
Jeez.
I mean, streaks are made to be broken, right? And so, like,
I'll take it.
I just do not have a lot of faith in what I'm seeing for this Tennessee team against teams like Louisville. I think this is one of the years I was more excited about because I thought we had more offensive talent than normal, and I'm going to be the most disappointed. It's going to be very, very similar to how disappointed I was when the Kennedy Chandler team lost to I think, Michigan.
Yeah.
The only other interesting game Tuesday is South Carolina at Clemson. Not sure what to make of South Carolina yet, or Clemson. Really, Clemson's been battling tough with teams and then dropping it late. Well, I don't know. I think it's always fun to see those interstate matchups, a little rivalry game on Tuesday for something else to watch. But I think it'll be interesting to see what Lamont Paris does here.
Yeah. That should be an interesting one for sure.
All right, so we've talked about some incredible games, and there's already been some just monster wins by a few teams, but 2 teams really stand out. Sam mentioned this earlier, and I think it's worth the kind of the conversation about the season so far. Is this a 2-team race, or does the field still have a chance?
So this is starting to feel like Purdue UConn in 2024, where they were just kind of separating themselves from the rest of the field, but you still had really, really good teams in there. You still had Houston, you still had Duke, who was another one of the one lines. I thought Alabama was really good that year. So there's like part of me that's still like, I want to take the field, I want to believe that Purdue can make a Final Four run in Indianapolis. I think this Michigan State team is a lot of fun to watch. Duke's passed every test so far. I think UConn's got the clearest path to a 1 line, and with their coach, I think they can handle about anything. So like the field is very, very strong still, but this number 1, number 2, 1A, 1B, however you guys want to call it, Michigan, Arizona, they've been an absolute juggernaut through December. Now, that being said, like, is this where you want to peak? And maybe they're not peaking yet. Maybe they are still on the upswing and still have room to improve, which would be shocking for this Michigan team, and slightly less, but even more impressive for the Arizona team if they get better. But, is that sustainable? Arizona's got a very, very tough conference. They've got a lot of tests coming up throughout their conference season. Michigan's same boat. They're playing in a Big Ten that is just like getting thrown into a bear pit. So it's going to be a long, nearly 3 months before we get to tournament time. So it's like, ask me again in 30 days, and I'll tell you if Michigan's undefeated in conference play and Arizona's undefeated in conference play. I'd be like, yeah, you guys, this is Purdue UConn 2024. Just go ahead and write the board. Get your chalk out, because this is the way this is going. I could see both these teams coming into the tournament with some bloody noses.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if you go, I think it's a 2-horse race right now. I don't know that anybody's playing as well as these two. If everything stays the same, there's no chance. This is, to me, Baylor Gonzaga from like 2021, where you had those two teams. You saw it from like November on. Okay, these two teams are going to meet. I think the only reason Baylor lost one or maybe multiple games was because a good chunk of their team was out with COVID.
Yeah.
So like that Baylor team was fantastic. Gonzaga team was very, very good, and Baylor came out and just knocked them in the mouth for the championship. That was like, that's what it's starting to feel like. You've got, and that doesn't mean there's not a ton of great basketball, a ton of great teams below it. It's just the tournament, you're going to have those two on either side. And you're just going to, all right, let's fill those two in, and then we can have chaos below. Like, I mean, Alabama was ahead at half and then loses by 20. I mean, it felt like Maryland for 3/4 of that game was like in it or ahead.
Yep.
And then lost by 20 plus. Like, what is anybody going to do? Like, I mean, I think the feel like if you want to put it over under kind of thing, it'd be 2.5. Like, you can make an argument for Duke or Purdue or maybe UConn. I'll question you on UConn, but the rest, like, I don't know that there's another full team that can battle with these two the way it's going right now, because it's incredible what's it doing. It's a dominant performance no matter which way you look at it.
Yeah, and I still think UConn has, and Sam said it. I mean, I think he's spot on with that. There's really, UConn doesn't really play anybody else. Yeah.
No. St. John's is going to be their toughest competition for the rest of the year. They got them twice. And St. John's, to steal a phrase from Jake, is a paper tiger.
Unfortunately, and that's one I fell for.
Yeah, me too. I think we all were up here talking about, we might see 2 1 lines out of the Big East with St. John's and UConn. And so we might see one tournament team out of the Big East.
Yeah, that's, yeah. You can't win them all.
That's right. That's right. So for our bench behavior, I mean, let's just talk about the absolute dumpster fire that Michigan football is turning into. This, I mean, obviously this is going to be a Netflix documentary. This is the 30 for 30, I'm sure, is already being, recorded, being built and crafted, but just an absolute bizarre, weird situation. I think the last time we recorded or the time before, when everything was kind of coming out about Coach Moore, it was like, okay,
he got fired.
Wait, he got fired, then he got detained.
Yeah.
And then
what was going on? Yeah,
off his rocker, like he's losing it. He's losing his mind. I mean, all these different things. I mean, and it just continued to spiral down.
Yeah.
I mean, they sold their soul for that championship. I hope it was worth it, because like you got busted for cheating during that year, and like with the sign stealing stuff. So now you've got Harbaugh's got his, like, I think Harbaugh, the coach that did the sign stealing, and now Sharon Moore are going to be like banned from coaching college football. So like anytime you have 3 guys on the same staff that are getting this a few year ban, at least, like that's you were playing dirty. And I'm not sure that Sharon Moore, this could have been a mental break, because I don't know that he deserved the position he was in. I don't know. Like, I mean,
He
the
went-
guy probably knows football and all that, but like coaching one of the big name brands, it's a ton of pressure out there. And then looking across to your biggest rival winning national championships and dominating, like I'm sure there was a ton of pressure. And I think he just broke and went off the deep end there. But I mean, it was funny to me that it was like I think the original tip with the fair happening was from a DoorDash driver that was an ex-Michigan quarterback. Like this is just a fun story that's going to be coming out like with the like you said Netflix documentary that's just going to be because that dude I guarantee you if they beat Ohio State would have been the quietest guy in the world, but the fact that they lost that was the straw. Not that anything bad was happening, it was the fact that the dude lost to Ohio State. This is just it's going to be and then you're late to the game to get the next coach.
Yes.
Who's out there or who are you peeling away that like so you're going to have to pay an ungodly sum to peel somebody away, which please Lane Kiffin do it because it would be the funniest thing in the world to leave Illinois.
Yeah, he has the opportunity to do the most hilarious thing
Oh my God.
ever in the history of sports.
But it's going to be Brian Kelly, right? Like that's who you're going to go grab because I mean,
They went after DeBoers and he said no.
yeah, because I wouldn't want to touch whatever's coming out of that mess either. But and he's in a pretty safe spot. He made the playoffs with Alabama. He'll be fine. But I mean, I don't know how much the BYU coach just got paid, but like, so I mean, you're gonna have to pay an absorbent amount of money to pull one of these guys away, or you're gonna have to hire somebody like Brian Kelly or I don't know who else is out there, like maybe Dan Mullen. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Dan Mullen will be in the mix.
I think the ultimate moral of this whole story is look,
Get a ring. Do what you can to get a ring.
do not cheat on your spouse. It's 2025. You're gonna get found out.
Especially
100%.
don't shit where you
And
eat.
two, if you do, and then inevitably when you get found out, do not torpedo your career, your freedom, and your chances at ever landing another job in the history of anything. Do not go full Michigan on this. I think Michigan's now a basketball school. IU's now a football school. Dogs and cats are getting married. The whole world's falling apart.
Yeah. This is how we know. This is the sign of the end of time.
Well, it's also the end of this ball game, and coach is looking at us like he's ready for us to get in it.
Yep.
All right. See y'all next blowout.
Take care, y'all.